show my son so at and I say aha Ghana TV so on himself while much so dear the same echoes of Ghana and I was all keep one keep better so only Ghana and I see not in election to Tsikata government that may change and Tsikata change or premier cause them premier the air prejudicial and some Paul I then up on the top of our summarizing the Amayanti now could see a bar for much the Ekasana say a bar or don't show no say the event was.
Quayson court. Now, an application has been filed by Quayson's lawyers, and you heard that there was some tussle between the NDC and the Attorney General and all of that. I'm going to walk you through it now, just before we go and watch that documentary. Let's see what's the background. The background is this: the High Court, presided by Justice Mary Ianzu, ordered for the Honorable Quayson's criminal trial to be heard on a day-to-day basis. Dissatisfied with the outcome, Honorable Quayson and his lawyers have appealed the decision on the following grounds, and it's as follows. One, that in a trial before her ladyship, an appointee of the said president, in a trial before her ladyship, who is an appointee of President Akufo-Addo, genuine doubts are thereby inevitably raised about the fairness of the trial in the light of the extrajudicial remarks of the president and the attorney general, as well as the remarks made in court on 16 June 2023 by the attorney general. So we're going to explain to you the remarks that they are talking about. President made some remarks and the attorney general made some remarks. Okay, let's move on. Both the president and the attorney general, and this is the report that the application that's gone to the court. It says paragraph 2 here, but in the real thing, I think it's paragraph 14. We didn't put all of it together. We selected those that are of high public interest. Both the president and the attorney general, it says, are clearly craving for the conviction and imprisonment of the accused person by fair or foul means, without any regard whatsoever to the constitutionally guaranteed fundamental human rights of the accused person. This is what the Quayson's lawyers are saying. I'm not so sure why they say that, but the attorney general is a lawyer in the matter. He's prosecuting, so he will crave for every prosecution that the attorney general begins. He is hoping that he'll be successful. If he is successful, it means that the conviction will be secured. A conviction, the securing the conviction means the success of the attorney general. So when the attorney general comes to court and the other lawyer says the attorney general is craving conviction, there stands to reason that he would, because that is his work. He's here to convict. So yes, he's all the time going to court expecting that his case will be heard, and if his case is heard and his case is adopted by the court, the accused person will be convicted for sure. That's what happens. Now they talk about the president as well. We'll get into that in some detail. Let's move on. It says they also say that the conduct of the attorney general is very similar to the conduct of the president when he, the president, was attorney general in 2001, when he, the president, initiated a similar trial of Mr. Tsikata with a predetermined outcome of convicting and imprisoning Mr. Tsikata. Wow, this is interesting. This is heavy. Let's read it again. They are accusing, this is a document that Mr. Quayson's lawyers have sent to the court. They are appealing against the decision that the court wants to run the trial every day. And these are one of the points that they make. They say that the conduct of the attorney general is very similar to the conduct of the president, Akufo-Addo. When he, Akufo-Addo, was attorney general in 2001, when Akufo-Addo initiated a similar trial of Mr. Tsikata. I don't know whether the trials are similar. Because Mr. Tsikata was tried for something called causing financial loss to the state, relating to, as leader and chief executive of GNPC, it was alleged against him that certain transactions had taken place, etc., etc., and those transactions had occasioned a loss to the government, and so they were trying him for causing financial loss to the state. That's what it is. The trial was successful, and it was overturned on appeal. In fact, after the trial, Mr. Kufuor gave Mr. Tsikata pardon. We remember the story when Mr. Tsikata said, in spite of he being pardoned, he wants to continue to appeal against the case and then clear his name. In fact, the prison officer said to Mr. Tsikata they can't hold him anymore because President Kufuor had pardoned him in January 2009. Now, this Mr. Tsikata's matter went through about 3 attorney generals, just for people to remember. Nana Dankwa Akufo was the first attorney general who probably initiated it, and then there was Papa Usman Nkrumah, there was Ayi Kweotu, and there was Joe Gate. All 4 attorney generals went through the matter, Conviction was secured in 2008. In 2009, January, when President Kufuor was leaving, when he was pardoning people, it was thought that Mr. Tsikata is an important person. He has contributed his life to the states by being a GMPC. If something had gone wrong, it's okay. He should be pardoned. President Kufuor pardoned him, but Mr. Tsikata went to Court of Appeal and got the conviction overturned. So that's the story behind this one. It doesn't look like it's similar, but the thing says similar. I'm not so sure when they say a similar trial, whether they just mean generally criminal trial. Yes, if they generally mean so, that's a similar. But if they mean the details of the trial, Mr. Quayson is being tried for something about citizenship and something about deceit of public officer. Mr. Quayson's trial rather falls on all fours with Adamusa candidate. Everybody has said that all the time. Mr. Tsikata's trial is slightly different. It's about causing financial loss to the state, isn't it? Okay. The other one, that Mr. Tsikata found himself on 18th June 2008, a day which had not been even set for continuation of his trial, much less conviction and sentence. Convicted and sentenced to 5 years in prison. They are recounting what happened when they say the same thing happened to Mr. Tsikata. They are recounting what happened, that's what happened, and on 18 June 2008, Mr. Tsikata was jailed. I don't know whether, I'm not so sure what all of this means, but this has been sent to the Court of Appeal and they will deal with it. But I'm just explaining to you viewers, those who didn't have time to look at it, and I know because of your schedules, you always don't have time. So we are here to tell you everything that has happened when you were busy working. This is what Mr. Justice Quayson's lawyers are saying right now, because they want to go on appeal and they are not happy with the trial continuing every day. I heard a journalist ask an intelligent question. I think the Joy FM journalist. He has a very intelligent question of the Justice Quayson lawyer when I was listening to Evans Mensah's program. What is it called? Top Story this evening. The journalist asked the Quayson's lawyer that, you have won this day as a North Sea. Don't you want the trial to continue every day so that you can quickly get back to Parliament and do your work? You should be happy that the trial is going on every day. Why are you coming to court to stop the trial from happening every day when you need to be quickly freed and get to Parliament to do your work? This morning, for instance, Mr. Quayson was not sworn in because he was in court. I'm sure he'll be sworn in tomorrow. He was in the High Court, so he wasn't in Parliament. So wouldn't he want to quickly finish the trial and then do his parliamentary work? That I thought that was an intelligent question. Okay, let's move on. 5 says that the conduct of the Attorney General and his prejudicial utterances on this case on the 16th of June 2023, prior to his applying for a day-to-day trial of this case, suggests that the outcome of this case has been predetermined, and hence the accused applicant has cause to fear that his rights to a fair trial is in jeopardy. I find this quite interesting as well, because the Attorney General is not the umpire in the case. The Attorney General is party to the matter. He's not the umpire. So whatever the Attorney General thinks, it cannot prejudice the judge's opinion. It cannot be said that he has predetermined. The Attorney General doesn't determine the matter. The matter is determined by the court and therefore the judge. The Attorney General is a partisan person in this matter, not political partisan, but partisan in terms of the two sides of the trial, for the accused and against the accused. The Attorney General is against the accused. Mr. Tsikata and the lawyers for Quayson are for the accused. The Attorney General is prosecuting his agenda, as all Attorney Generals do. He cannot predetermine anything. He can't predetermine anything, can he? No, certainly not. But this is the matter that we're going to keep an eye on and we're going to follow it. I'll tell you a bit more as we go on. Number 6, it says they are asking that the ruling of this court on 23rd June 2023 already appears to have emboldened the further prejudicial remarks of the president above referred to. Okay. The appeal of the accused applicant hearing seeks to enforce his constitutional rights and prevent a similar process of unfair trial as Mr. Tsikata experienced, which could lead to his being convicted at all cost by fair or foul means. It looks like this appeal is heavy on Mr. Tsikata's story. I'm not so sure why. I don't know what the court is going to do with the appeal citing Mr. Tsikata's case. Maybe they are talking about a certain history of abuse of human rights. I mean, if that's the history, yeah, they can do that. They are talking about a certain history of abuse of human rights. So that's why they are citing Mr. Tsikata. But is it not interesting that Mr. Tsikata himself is in the trial? He's one of the lawyers prosecuting this matter. Not prosecuting us in the prosecutor, but he's prosecuting the Judge Quayson defense. He's leading. And a lot of his own experience with the court during his trial has been used by this application. I'm not so sure why it looks novel to me, but we're keeping an eye on it and we'll see what happens. that if proceedings are not stayed during the pendency of the said appeal, the rights of the accused appellant applicants to a fair trial will be rendered nugatory. I'm not so sure why they want proceedings to be stayed so that they can do the appeal, because the court is going to make a determination that whilst they filed an appeal, should the case go on anyway, and then when they finish the appeal they can come back, and the High Court, who is trying the matter, will first make a determination: should I stay or should I not stay? So this application is to tell the High Court that you should stay, because they are saying that if you don't stop and wait for us to go on appeal, so what's the appeal about? They are going on appeal to tell the Court of Appeal that the High Court is saying they are going to conduct a trial every day. And that's not fair. That's the point they're making. Why it's not fair, and that's what I was talking about, the question that the Joy FM journalist asked. They say that's not fair. So they want to deal with it. And they say that he must stop the process. They should let the Court of Appeal pronounce on whether the trial can be held every day or not. And then they will come back and deal with the matter. But the Attorney General will be arguing against them that he doesn't think that the trial should be stayed. So that's going to be the argument that the Court of Appeal will eventually resolve. We're not sure in which direction they'll resolve it. Okay, 9 says justice must not only be done but must be seen to be done, and the predetermination of the outcome of the current trial by the President and the Attorney General glaringly amounts already to a miscarriage of justice. So when they talk about the President, they are referring to the President's comments on and at the Asin North rally, where the President said that why are you going to elect Judge Quayson because he's on trial and he may go to prison. That's what they are saying, that the judge was appointed by the President. I'm not sure what that means. And then the President stood on the platform and said the guy is on trial, and because the President appointed the judge, when the President has a legal opinion, it might sway on the judge. Something like that is what they are saying. Okay, I'll tell you the prejudicial comments that they are alleging against the Attorney General in a minute. It says all the above constitutes exceptional circumstances on the basis of which we respectfully seek orders of the courts staying the proceedings in this case till the determination of the appeal. So now viewers, you get it. Okay, so what's the case against the Attorney General in terms of the comment they say he made? They are referring, and they did refer to it in the documents in the court, they are referring to comments the Attorney General made when he was Deputy Attorney General. He was in London, and I think we've used that video here before. We still have it. When somebody asked him that you people were campaigning and said there's a lot of corruption, you've come to power and you're not even trying anybody. Where is the corruption that you talked about? This was a forum in the United Kingdom where Ghanaians, young Ghanaians, had come to meet Attorney General and some other ministers. So the Deputy Attorney General then said that, well, there's a trial going on. The National Communication Authority, former high-profile officials are on trial. Also, Opuni is on trial. Now, the lawyers here are saying that those comments he made were prejudicial. To suggest that Opuni is on trial, I'm not so sure, with the greatest of respect, whether that's prejudicial. To say that Opuni will go to jail is prejudicial. But to say he's on trial, you're only reporting what is happening. And he was saying that trial is going on. So the questioner cannot say they're not doing anything about it. That's the matter that they've been using against the Attorney General that he said in Opuni, and he's saying here as well. But this is where it is. This matter is going to the Court of Appeal. We'll wait and see what happens. There are two aspects of the ruling. The High Court judge is going to make a determination whether he will stay the proceedings or not. If he says he will not stay, they might repeat that application in the Court of Appeal, asking the Court of Appeal to compel the High Court judge to stay. So there's some interesting matters coming up. We'll wait to see what, as they say, the three wise men will do. But that's the story. This one is a story about the application for Judge Quayson, which was filed today. Hopefully, Judge Quayson will be sworn in, I believe, tomorrow. When
your insight, what you are saying, so only lawyer Paul Aya, so better comment. Ghana to you, we didn't show Macron.